Hi everybody and welcome to this video. Today I want to speak about the 4 stages of a spiritual awakening and how to go through these stages and really get to find the light at the end of the tunnel. Really start integrating your complete self in your spiritual awakening journey. Now, before starting, if you are new to the YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment because that is appreciated. And don't forget, if you wish to work with me on a one-on-one level and really get to know what your soul mission is all about, feel free to contact me at my Facebook address in the description below. Now, to start with, I want to start with the question, what is a spiritual awakening? Well, a spiritual awakening is the awakening of the Kundalini energy. Kundalini energy is divine feminine life force energy. And when this energy awakens, you get to shift your subconscious mind. You get to enter a new plane of consciousness. You really get to see things from a different level. Now, a spiritual awakening is really powerful, and from my perspective, it has phases, okay? It has stages. And the first stage is the awakening itself, okay? So it feels like you are living your life. It feels like you are going into this pattern of living. And at some moment, after some rough experiences maybe, you get to awaken your consciousness. You get to really open your consciousness into a new state. You get to transcend who you were, okay? You get to transcend who you were. And the fun begins because it's like you feel like you get to be reborn again. It feels like you can see life with new eyes. So the first stage of a spiritual awakening is the awakening itself. Mine happened in 2014. And in those moments, it felt really blissful. In those moments, it felt like I was a new person. In those moments, it felt like I was receiving downloads from the higher planes of consciousness. So it felt like I was one with the universe. It felt like I was in bliss, in harmony, and in a new state of consciousness. Now, the first stage is really beautiful to be experienced. But what I'm realizing is the fact that so many of us, we don't have the spiritual maturity necessary in the first stage, okay? And you may be operating from your ego. You may be operating from your spiritual ego. You may be operating from trying to prove something to the world. At least this is what I have done in my own journey. In my first stage of the awakening, I was trying to actually put my ego into the world and tell everybody that I had an awakening. Now, my suggestion is don't do that. And really get to look deeper within your own state of consciousness, get to look deeper at your own self and start expressing your authentic self, okay? So guys, if you are experiencing the first stage of awakening, it feels like you are going through a massive shift in consciousness. It feels like you are seeing life with new eyes. It feels like you are entering a new plane of existence. It seems like you are transcending time and space. It feels good. Now, the second stage of a spiritual awakening is the dark night of the soul. And I have been going through a huge dark night of the soul. It felt like I was losing my power. It felt like I was not authentic. It felt like I was in a huge crisis. It felt like I was losing my energy on all levels. But what I'm realizing right now is the fact that I had to go through those moments in order to see who I really am at a deeper level. I had to go through the dark night to see who I really am at a deeper level. So the spiritual seeker chooses to go into his shadow. He chooses to go into his own hell in order to learn, okay? So there's the perspective that we have chosen every single experience that we are having here on planet Earth. And one experience for you guys may be the dark night of the soul. And it's really dark and it hurts and it feels like you are losing your mental power. It feels like you're losing your spiritual and your physical power and strengths. But the dark night of the soul is actually a really powerful place to be into, because then you get to look at your own shadows and start integrating them. And this is the third phase, integration. Now, what I've seen in my own journey was the fact that it was really hard to deal with my shadow. It was really hard to accept myself unconditionally. But in the third phase, which is the stage of integration, I learned to also deal with my shadow. I learned to also accept myself unconditionally. And I believe that this is actually such an important stage to be into, because in the darkness you get to know who you really are. Okay, so there is beauty in the dark. There is beauty in experiencing fear, maybe. Because in those moments you get to cleanse your energy. In those moments you get to reawaken yourself to your natural state of consciousness. In those moments you get to see life in a different way. In those moments you get to have a new connection with source consciousness. So the integration phase is about accepting the shadow. Okay, the integration phase is about learning to accept also negative feelings and emotions. Okay, so the integration phase is the third phase, and this is really powerful, because in this stage you also learn to deal with your negative self. You also learn to accept yourself a bit more. You are no longer running from the darkness. Okay, instead you start integrating and accepting it, and more likely laugh at it. Okay, loving it, embracing it. So the more that you learn to integrate your negative feelings, and the more that you learn to be in alignment with what you truly feel, doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, is the more that you will get to be in your complete state of consciousness. And in the complete state of consciousness you will get to really rediscover yourself. In the complete state of consciousness you will get to express yourself at a different level. In the complete state of consciousness you operate from authenticity. Okay, so a spiritual awakening is happening for a lot of people right now on the planet, and so many individuals are awakening their consciousness into a new state, and that is really beautiful, because we're entering a new age. We're entering the age of awakening. We're entering the age of higher consciousness. We're entering the age of co-creating with the universe. Now, honestly, to be with you guys, I'm still in the third phase, and what I'm feeling intuitively is that the fourth and the last stage is bliss and harmony. Okay, bliss and harmony. And me right now, I'm integrating myself. I'm integrating myself even after this long time. Trust me, healing happens sometimes slowly, but it happens. Okay, so I'm still integrating my own shadows. I'm still learning to accept myself unconditionally. But what I'm feeling intuitively is the fact that the fourth stage is bliss and harmony. Now, this is where a lot of individuals that have healed themselves completely are found themselves into. Okay, so it's about really getting to live in harmony with the higher principles, getting to live in harmony with the cosmos, getting to be in alignment with the higher universe. Okay, so the fourth stage is enlightenment. But when you are constantly seeking it, and when you want it too hard, you won't go there. But when you are letting go, and when you are accepting yourself unconditionally, and when you are no longer chasing it, there is a higher chance for you to get to transcend your consciousness into an enlightened state. So me myself, honestly, I'm not looking for enlightenment anymore. Okay, I'm not looking for enlightenment anymore, because I'm realizing that maybe it's not even a destination. It's more likely about the acceptance of the present moment. It's more likely the acceptance of what is happening right here, right now, and look towards the future with the perspective of curiosity, with the perspective of harmony, with the perspective of bliss. Okay, so guys, if you're having a spiritual awakening, I feel you. Sometimes it's really blissful, sometimes it's really painful, but in the end you will get to balance this duality. Okay, in the end you will get to accept yourself unconditionally, and in the end you will get to realize that everything that is happening in your life is happening in relationship with your own state of consciousness. So it's all about the inner mastery. This is what I'm realizing in my own spiritual awakening. It's not about being fake. It's not about trying to prove a point. It's not about chasing things into my life. It's more likely about self-acceptance and expressing myself authentically. Okay, so guys, this is today's message about the 4 stages of a spiritual awakening. Let me know in the comments which one you are actually into, and I feel you guys. A spiritual awakening is a bliss in the end. A spiritual awakening is a blessing in the end, but it may also seem like it's a curse sometimes. At least it felt like that in my own journey when I was going through some really rough moments. But in the end, I'm realizing that it was all happening for me, and it was happening with a purpose, for me to accept myself unconditionally. Okay guys, so thanks so much for watching this video, and this is today's message about the 4 stages of a spiritual awakening. I love you so much guys, and like always, see you on what is coming up next. And if you wish to work with me on a one-on-one level, feel free to contact me at my Facebook address in the description below. I love you so much, much peace, and see you on what is coming up next. Bye bye.